Assalamu alaikum students. I am Professor Maryam Rashid and I'll be taking your lecture on beta blockers today. It's a very important topic from examination point of view. That is why I thought to share it with you. So before moving on to the content of the lecture, let's have a look on the knowledge of beta receptors. Beta receptors are of many types, but the important ones are beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. Students, try to recall, brainstorm a little before I move on to the next slide that what are the locations of these beta receptors. Okay, beta 1 are present in two areas. Number 1, heart, and number 2, kidneys. You have to remember this thing. In the heart, it has all positive effects. Like positive effect means it is going to increase the heart rate, increase the contractility of the heart, increase the conduction velocity, right? I hope you are familiar with these terminologies. Increase chronotropic means increase in the heart rate. Increase inotropic means increase in the contractility of the heart. And increase conduction velocity means increase dromotropic effect. All positive effects are because of the beta 1 receptors. Then in the kidneys, the function of the beta 1 receptors is increase in the renin release, right? So it activates the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, which leads to the release of renin, which causes increase vasoconstriction, increase in the total peripheral resistance, okay, and also there is the stimulation of aldosterone, which also causes vasoconstriction and salt and water retention. So ultimately, beta 1 receptors are causing two main effects. Number one, they are increasing all the parameters of the heart, and number two, they are stimulating the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, leading to increase in blood pressure and salt and water retention. Beta 2 receptors are mainly located in the smooth muscles, right? Let's have a look. You have done all of this previously, but it's just a quick recall. In the bladder detrusor muscle, it causes relaxation. In the ciliary muscles of eye, it also causes relaxation. Then in the GIT, it decreases the motility. Parasympathetic system was increasing the motility, and sympathetic system are decreasing the motility. Then in the liver, the effect of beta 2 receptor is increased glucose metabolism and lipolysis. Then the smooth muscle, it causes relaxation of smooth muscle. जहाँ जहाँ smooth muscle है, it can be in the bronchi, it will cause bronchodilation. ठीक है? So if we can memorize this, beta 1, we have one heart and we have two lungs. So beta 1 are present in the heart primarily, whereas beta 2 are present in the lungs, smooth muscle, and they cause bronchodilation. That is why they are used in the treatment of asthma, bronchial asthma. They cause bronchodilation. ठीक? These are the agonist. अभी हम agonist की बात कर रहे हैं. We have not moved on to the antagonist. Today's topic is beta blockers. First, we'll discuss about the location of beta receptors and their actions, and then would be able to understand the effect of beta blockers. Okay, so beta 1 in the heart and beta 2 in the lungs. This is students often confuse that although beta 2 are present in all the smooth muscles, right? But whenever they are asked okay, in the heart which beta receptors predominate, so they say beta 2. No, beta 1. One heart, so beta 1 are present in the heart. Beta 2, two lungs, so they are present in the smooth muscles and mainly in the lungs. So the confusion is whenever we are asked in the heart, we have to say beta 1 are present 90% and only 10% are present beta 2. So beta receptor classification is very important. Number one, there are various ways of classifying. Okay, as you can see, these are the some. It seemed like an old man. Then this is a younger, and this is the very younger lot, right? So as you can see, there is classification is showing that the first generation or the older generation of beta blockers, they are non-selective, right? They are not having any affinity for receptor like beta 1, beta 2 or beta 3. So as the generation is becoming new, the selectivity is increasing. So second generation is predominantly blocking the beta 1 receptors which were present in the heart. Yes, very good. Beta 1 were present mainly in the heart, and the second organ is in the kidney. एंड द लेटेस्ट जनरेशन जो आप लोगों की जनरेशन है इसके इट इज़ ब्लॉकिंग बोथ बीटा रिसेप्टर्स एज वेल एज अल्फा रिसेप्टर्स. ठीक है. सो यू कैन से द फर्स्ट जनरेशन की जो प्रोटोटाइप ड्रग है दैट इज प्रोपेनोलॉल. सेकेंड जनरेशन की जो प्रोटोटाइप ड्रग है एटेनोलॉल एंड थर्ड जनरेशन इज द कार्वेडेलॉल. ठीक है. एंड आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू नो व्हाट डज द टर्म प्रोटोटाइप मीन्स. Prototype means the drug which is representing the whole group. Like in your class, if you have third year DPT, so your prototype is your CR or GR, who is representative of the class. ठीक. So propranolol is representing the first generation, atenolol is representing the second generation, and the later generation, the main prototype drug is carvedilol. So these are the drugs, non-selective, first generation, second generation are mainly beta 1 selective. In the first generation, these are the names of the drugs: propranolol, timolol, sotalol, pindolol and nadolol. Students, can you appreciate one common thing in the names of all these drugs in the different generations? I hope your eyes are open enough to look at the difference. Well, yes. As you can see at the end of the names, there is LOL, LOL, which is a common terminology used by you people when texting. So, second generation metoprolol, atenolol, acebutolol, biso, and esmolol. And beta 2 selective is only one drug which is used for experimental purposes, and that is butoxamine. ठीक है. So first generation is that which has non-selective receptor selectivity. Second generation is blocking the beta 1 receptors. ठीक है. तो beta 1 was present mainly in the heart. So these drugs are used in the conditions which are affecting the heart. ठीक है. Like in hypertension. ठीक. Third generation, they have the additional property of alpha receptor blocking effect, and they have vasodilator property. So this is the latest generation, and these drugs are used in hypertension as well as in the treatment of congestive heart failure. These are labetalol, carvedilol, celiprolol and nebivolol. ठीक है. And the prototype drug I told you earlier was this one. And in the third generation, it is, since it is blocking the alpha receptors as well, and alpha receptors alpha 1 are present in the blood vessel smooth muscle, so they are used also in the treatment of hypertension, because normally alpha 1 receptors are causing vasoconstriction and increasing the TPR and increasing the blood pressure. But the third generation, they are blocking both beta receptors. They are affecting the effect on the heart as well as they are affecting the blood vessels, so they will also decrease the blood pressure. So beta blockers, as you can see, their names of the end, they are containing olol, lol, like propranolol, atenolol, timolol. Okay. So laughter is the best medicine and beta blockers know it. Okay. Another easy way to remember the classification of the beta receptor on the basis of receptor selectivity is all those beta blockers which are their names are starting from A to M, like atenolol, metoprolol, ठीक है, they are all belonging to beta 1 blocking category, whereas the others from M onwards like N, say nadolol hai, propranolol, they are all non-selective, right? So beta 1 are atenolol, acebutolol, metoprolol. Okay. Then there is another classification of beta blockers which is very important. That is beta blockers having ISA property, which is called intrinsic sympathomimetic activity. Students, at this very moment we are discussing about beta blockers, but look at these beta blockers. They have intrinsic sympathomimetic activity, which means although they are blockers, but they have still some agonistic property. Mimetic means those drugs which mimic the action. So they mimic the action of beta receptors, although they are blockers. So these blockers are called partial agonists, right? So this is a very important classification. You are asked in the exam, can name the beta blockers which have partial agonist property, although they are blockers. So you should know the names. Then beta blockers which have membrane stabilizing effect. This is also called local anesthetic property. This is also very important. Then lipid solubility. Okay. So these are the names which you have to memorize. Although they are beta blockers, but they have partial agonist property. These are pindolol, acebutolol, cartilol, and celiprolol. So think for a moment. What are the advantages of these beta blockers? I told you that beta 2 receptors are present in the smooth muscle, and one of the smooth muscle is the bronchi. Normally in asthma, what is happening? There is severe bronchoconstriction and person cannot breathe. ठीक है, तो बीटा 2 receptors के हम agonist देते हैं for treatment of asthma. ठीक, but what happens if we give a blocker to a patient who is having hypertension? ठीक है, अगर हम ऐसी ड्रग दे दें जो बीटा 2 को ब्लॉक कर दे और साथ वो हार्ट के अंदर ब्लड प्रेशर को कम कर दे, एक तरफ इट इज़ गोइंग टू इम्प्रूव द ब्लड प्रेशर, ठीक है, पर सेकेंडली क्या करेगा, वो ब्रोंकाई के जो स्मूथ मसल थे उसको ब्लॉक जब करेगा तो जो उसका अच्छा इफेक्ट आना था ब्रोंको डायलेशन का वो नहीं आएगा, एंड द पर्सन विल हैव सिवियर एस्थमेटिक अटैक बिकॉज ऑफ ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन. सो इन केसेस में जहाँ पर एक पेशेंट को हाइपरटेंशन भी है और साथ ब्रोंकियल एस्थमा भी है, ऐसे होते हैं ना जो कोमॉर्बिड कंडीशंस होती हैं, सो इन दैट पर्सन इट इज़ वेरी, दीज बीटा ब्लॉकर्स विच हैव पार्शियल एगोनिस्ट प्रॉपर्टीज, दे आर वेरी सेफ टू गिव. ठीक है, so this is a very important advantage. Note down this question. I'm going to give this you as an assignment for today's lecture. Number one, classify beta blockers according to receptor selectivity, and number two, name the beta blockers which have ISA property and what are their advantages. The second effect is beta blockers having membrane stabilizing effect, which is called local anesthetic effect, like they create the effect of anesthesia locally, and these are propranolol, pindolol, carvedilol, and levetolol. Okay, if we move on to the pharmacological actions of beta blockers in the heart, what are they doing? Normally, first of all, every time when you have to think about the action of any drug or its uses, first of all think about the agonist, then go opposite to that. So in the heart, normally beta 1 receptors are predominant and they increase the contractility, heart rate, cardiac output, cardiac work, and oxygen consumption, all positive effects, right? So when you give beta blockers, all these beneficial effects on the heart are going to be blocked. ठीक? And when cardiac output is also decreased, then it helps to decrease the blood pressure. So that is why beta blockers is used in the treatment of hypertension, because number one, they decrease all the parameters in the heart. कॉन्ट्रैक्टिलिटी को भी कम करेंगे, हार्ट रेट को भी, आउटपुट को भी, स्ट्रोक वॉल्यूम और ब्लड प्रेशर कम होगा. एंड सेकेंडली, बिकॉज वी डिस्कस दैट बीटा रिसेप्टर्स आर प्रेजेंट इन द हार्ट एंड इन द kidney. Kidney में what was their function? They were causing the release of renin and activating the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, which also causes salt and water retention and vasoconstriction, and aldosterone की वजह से it increases the blood pressure. So when you give beta blockers, they improve the blood pressure. They decrease the blood pressure in such a way by causing two effects. Direct effects on the heart are blocked, and number two, from the kidney, renin angiotensin aldosterone system is also blocked. So these are the you can be asked a question, what is the mechanism of action of beta blockers for the treatment of hypertension? You have to write the answer in such a way. And what else? Increased refractory period, conduction velocity is delayed, and decreased automaticity. These are the effects of the beta blockers. Okay, this is also beta 1 in the heart. They decrease all the parameters, contraction, force of contraction, and excess stimulation of beta receptor normally can lead to arrhythmia because of increased conduction velocity. So all these effects are blocked by beta blockers. Beta 2 are normally present in the skeletal blood vessels and they cause vasodilation. अब अगर आप देखें जो अल्फा रिसेप्टर्स हैं अल्फा 1 they are also present in the peripheral blood vessels and they cause vasoconstriction, but beta 2 are present in the skeletal blood vessels and they cause vasodilation. Okay, in the blood vessels, alpha 1 vasoconstriction, increased TPR, increased blood pressure. Beta 2 vasodilation and decreased blood pressure. This is normally agonist. So when the students say कि blood pressure is decreased because of beta 2, that is wrong, because beta 2 are normally causing vasodilation. So if you give beta blocker, तो vasodilation के बजाय there would be vasoconstriction. So the mechanism of action of beta blockers in hypertension is not through vasodilation of beta 2, but it is because of heart and kidneys. ठीक है, उनकी वजह से जो है वो कम होगा blood pressure. So this is a very important diagram, students. Effect of beta blockers, which explains the action of beta blockers in the treatment of hypertension. This is your second question for assignment. You have to draw a flow chart explaining why beta blockers are used for the treatment of hypertension. As I earlier told you the whole mechanism, but you have to draw a flow chart. In the respiratory system, we discussed in the smooth muscle there are beta 2 cause bronchodilation. So if you give beta blockers, they cause bronchoconstriction. So it is a contraindicated in asthma. ठीक है, ये नहीं कि आप पेशेंट को उसका हाइपरटेंशन तो ट्रीट कर दो, साथ आप उसका ब्रोंकियल एस्थमा एग्रीवेट कर दो. तो एस्थमा का पेशेंट और साथ उसका ब्लड प्रेशर भी ज़्यादा है, तो उसमें हम देंगे दोज बीटा ब्लॉकर्स विच हैव ISA property, which have partial agonist property, which are not going to bronchoconstrict. ठीक है. मेटाबॉलिक इफेक्ट्स नॉर्मली क्या है, हमेशा नॉर्मली पहले करो. Hypoglycemia, adrenaline release, beta 2 receptors in the liver are stimulated and they cause glycogenolysis. And they when you give beta blockers in a person who is diabetic, ठीक है, क्या होता है जब डायबिटीज़ वाला पेशेंट इंसुलिन लेता है तो इंसुलिन डिक्रीजेस द ब्लड ग्लूकोज लेवल, एंड व्हेन देयर इज डिक्रीज इन ब्लड ग्लूकोज लेवल हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया. जब आपको बहुत भूख लग रही है, आपको हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया हो रहा है, तो व्हाट आर योर सिम्टम्स? थिंक अबाउट इट. व्हाट आर योर फीलिंग्स? यू आर स्वेटिंग, यू हैव पैल्पिटेशंस. ठीक है, तो उसमें ये सिंपथेटिक सारे सिम्टम्स होते हैं. तो इन सिम्टम्स को कॉम्बैट करने के लिए एक पेशेंट को पता लगता है कि इंसुलिन लगाई है तो कोई बहुत ज़्यादा तो नहीं ब्लड ग्लूकोज कम हो गया. दीज आर द वार्निंग साइंस के जो है इनसे हम कहते हैं वार्निंग साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स ऑफ हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया. दीज आर सिंपथेटिक मेडिएटेड. तो अगर एक पर्सन है जिसने जो हाइपरटेंसिव है और उसने बीटा ब्लॉकर लिया एंड ऑल्सो ही इज़ अ डायबिटिक पेशेंट जिसके लिए वो इंसुलिन ले रहा था, तो जो उसको वार्निंग साइन सिम्टम्स आने थे कि भाई बहुत ब्लड ग्लूकोज कम हो गया, hypoglycemia हो गया, so eat something, go or take some sugar. So that warning sign symptoms are masked by these beta blockers. So you have to be very careful when giving a combo of these beta blockers in a person who has hypertension as well as diabetes. ठीक है, if a person has bronchial asthma and hypertension, तो ये उसके cautions हैं. ठीक. Similarly, they LDL to HDL ratio is increased. So in the patients who have dyslipidemias, you have to be very careful when giving a beta blockers because they derange the ratio. ठीक है? Okay. In the eye, we discussed in the beta 2 receptors are present in the smooth muscles of ciliary epithelium, cause increased aqueous humor. And of course, you all know that when the aqueous humor is increased, there is production of which disease? क्या disease हो सकती है या क्या precipitate हो सकता है? Glaucoma. ठीक है? Glaucoma is a condition in which there is increase in the intraocular pressure. दो reasons हैं. क्या? Either there is increased production of aqueous humor, ठीक है, सिंथेसाइज ही ज़्यादा हो रहा है. नंबर सेकंड क्या है कि आउटफ्लो ड्रेनेज इज ब्लॉक्ड ऑफ एक्वस ह्यूमर. ठीक है, तो देर आर टू स्ट्रेटजीज टू ट्रीट ग्लाकोमा. आइदर यू डिक्रीज द सिंथेसिस ऑफ एक्वस ह्यूमर. नंबर टू, आइदर यू इंक्रीज द आउटफ्लो. तो बीटा ब्लॉकर्स आर दोज विच डिक्रीज द सिंथेसिस ऑफ एक्वस ह्यूमर. एंड द कोलिनर्जिक एगनिस्ट जो आप लोगों ने पढ़े हैं पहले, लाइक पाइलोकार्पिन है, ठीक है, that is used for the treatment of glaucoma. But how it treats? By increasing the outflow. They are muscarinic agonist. So every drug has a different mechanism. You should know the location of receptors to understand the ANS. लोकेशन ऑफ रिसेप्टर्स बच्चे आपको आएगी, उसके नॉर्मल एक्शंस आएंगे तो एगनिस्ट आएंगे, तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द ब्लॉकर्स. Therapeutic uses of beta blockers, these are very important. They have cardiovascular uses and non-cardiovascular uses as well. ठीक है? Cardiovascular uses, hypertension. ठीक है? So you have to attempt this question. Why beta blockers are used for the treatment of hypertension? Congestive heart failure, right? They are also used for the treatment of heart failure. What is their beneficial effects? They decrease the remodeling, apoptosis and hypertrophy which are accompanied by chronic heart failure. They are not given for the acute heart failure. Remember students, note down. Beta blockers are contraindicated in acute heart failure. Because what is happening in acute heart failure? Suddenly the heart stops to contract. When the heart is not contracting and you give the beta blockers, it is already failing to contract, and you further give a blocker, then it would go on a cardiac arrest. Okay, it's not going to contract further, it is going to be blocked. So we given congestive or chronic heart failure where it has beneficial effects in long term effects. So this is also very important question. Okay, contraindications of beta blockers. Okay, we will discuss them. Angina pectoris, I hope all of you are familiar. Basically in angina there is an imbalance between the supply and demand of oxygen. इसकी वजह से ischemic pain होती है, ठीक है? Because there is not proper sufficient oxygen blood supply to the heart. So there are two strategies in this. Either you increase the supply or you decrease the demand. Beta blockers decrease the cardiac workload and decrease the myocardial oxygen demand. Because the beta receptors predominantly in the heart, they were increasing all the parameters of heart. So if you decrease those parameters, so end result is decrease in the workload and decrease in the oxygen demand. So beta blockers की जितनी भी clinical applications हैं, आपको uses अगर आते हैं, for example, you should know कि बीटा ब्लॉकर्स हाइपरटेंशन में डिफरेंटली उनका मैकेनिज्म है, एंजाइना में डिफरेंट है, रिदमियाज में डिफरेंट है. तो एक वन लाइनर आपको प्रिपेयर करने हैं इसके, ठीक है. सो इट इज़ बेनिफिशियल इन क्लासिकल एंजाइना. Then in the treatment of myocardial infarction, what are they doing? They are just limiting the infarct size. How? By reducing oxygen consumption and prevents reinfarct. ठीक? They also prevent arrhythmias because whenever there is ischemic tissue, there is more chances of arrhythmia. ऑटोमेटिसिटी खुद जनरेट होती है, तो उसको ट्रीट करने के लिए हम दे सकते हैं बीटा ब्लॉकर्स. Then cardiac arrhythmias, because they decrease the conduction velocity, so they are useful in the treatment of cardiac arrhythmias. In arrhythmias, there are abnormal uh, tachyarrhythmias mostly, which are accompanied, and they help in the treatment of these arrhythmias. ठीक है? Then others are non-cardiovascular uses apart from the heart. Student, this question is asked in such a way. If you're asked to write down the clinical uses of beta blockers, just don't vomit out all the uses which you know. Kind of, you should categorize them cardiovascular and non-cardiovascular. So this is a very important question. Non-cardiovascular uses hyperthyroidism. ठीक है, thyroxine is normally, what is it doing? Okay, it causes increased sensitivity of circulating catecholamines to myocardium. It causes tachycardia and palpitations. So these are the sympathetic mediated symptoms which are occurring in hyperthyroidism. So these symptoms of tachycardia and palpitation which are sympathetic mediated, these are blocked by beta blockers. And secondly, it has two uses in hyperthyroidism. Number one, decreases the sympathetic symptoms, and number two, T4 से T3 की जो conversion होती है उसको भी ये ब्लॉक करता है. ठीक है, and they are given with the various anti-thyroid drugs. ठीक है, थायराइड स्टॉर्म में, इन emergency thyrotoxic crisis जिसको हम कहते हैं. So you'll discuss this in endocrinology in detail. Glaucoma, these are decreasing the synthesis. Pilocarpine, which is the cholinergic agonist, is increasing the outflow or drainage of aqueous humor. So it is used for the chronic or wide angle glaucoma. Okay, which is used, timolol is used in the treatment of glaucoma. ठीक है, आई ड्रॉप्स होते हैं timolol के, and it is non-selective. A to M अल्फ़ाबेट्स में जो फॉल कर रहे हैं दैट आर बीटा 1 सिलेक्टिव, और एम से ऑनवर्ड्स, एन से है जैसे नेडोलॉल है, प्रोपेनोलॉल है, टिमोलॉल है, दे आर ऑल नॉन सिलेक्टिव. एंड बीटा 2 सिलेक्टिव इज ओनली वन ड्रग दैट इज ब्यूटॉक्सामाइन. Then pheochromocytoma, this is basically a tumor of adrenal medulla, ठीक है, in which there is excessive secretion of catecholamines like epinephrine, norepinephrine. They lead to hypertension and tachycardia. So first an alpha blocker is given for the treatment and then a beta blocker. Otherwise rise in blood pressure can occur. तो जब ये ट्यूमर है जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा लेवल ऑफ कैटाकोलामीन्स होता है, ठीक है, जब एपिनेफ्रीन सर्कुलेशन में जाएगा, सो इट इज़ गोइंग टू कॉज इंक्रीज इन द ब्लड प्रेशर. So we also block these effects by alpha blockers, and then we give beta blockers to control the excessive hypertension which is malignant. ठीक है, तो ट्यूमर को निकालने से पहले हम साथ इसको ये ड्रग्स देते हैं पेशेंट को. Migraine, which is in easy terminology called half headache or the आधे सर का दर्द. So this is also used in the prophylaxis of migraine. ठीक है, it reduces the frequency and severity of attacks. Anxiety में आपका प्रॉफ है, वाइवा है, यू आर सिवियर एप्रीहेंसिव, ठीक है, या आपने स्टेज पे जाके कोई स्पीच देनी है, ठीक है, यू आर वेरी फ्राइटेंड और apprehensive, then it decreases the sympathetic sign symptoms. So it is given for nervousness, panic attacks, and stage fright, and the drug of choice is propranolol. So these are the non-cardiovascular uses. Okay, this is a very important topic of beta blockers. I have tried to simplify as much as I could because it's a very detailed topic. I can deliver it in 3 to 4 lectures as we did in MBBS and in BDS, but for you people I have simplified it. And if you have any questions you are unable to understand, please let me know. I can answer any question relevant to these beta blockers. If you are not understanding how they are helpful in hypertension or in glaucoma or about their location, so I'll be more than happy to help you around. Contraindications A B C D to memorize it. किन conditions में नहीं देना. Indication mean uses, उसमें आपने लिखनी होती हैं diseases जिसमें drug देते हैं, और contra indication means a big cross, those conditions in which you don't give the drug, like asthma में नहीं देना. asthma में एक patient है जिसको asthma है, उसमें आप नहीं दोगे because they cause bronchoconstriction. एंजाइना में आप दे सकते हो जो नॉर्मल टिपिकल क्लासिकल एंजाइना, पर प्रिंस मेटल में नहीं देते क्योंकि उसमें ब्लड वेसल्स के ऊपर वेजोस्पैस्टिक होता है, स्पैज़म करता है और ये इसको वर्स करते हैं। ठीक है। ब्रेडिकार्डिया में और हार्ट ब्लॉक्स में, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी द बीटा ब्लॉकर दे स्लो द हार्ट, ठीक है, हर चीज़ को हमने डिस्कस किया कि पॉजिटिव क्रोनोट्रॉपिक को कन्वर्ट करेगा नेगेटिव क्रोनोट्रॉपिक में, पॉजिटिव आयनोट्रॉपिक को नेगेटिव में। सो पहले ही हार्ट पंप नहीं कर रहा प्रॉपरली, हार्ट रेट उसका कम है, तो आप उस कंडीशन में नहीं दोगे जिसमें फर्दर हार्ट ब्लॉक हो जाएगा। COPD is also is also this COPD is one of the component is bronchial asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, ठीक है। एंड CCF acute, CCF is congestive cardiac failure, उसमें नहीं देना। डायबिटीज़ में मैंने आपको बता दिया कि वार्निंग साइन सिम्टम्स ऑफ हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया को भी इफेक्ट करता है और मेटाबॉलिक इफेक्ट्स को भी ये डिस्ट्रॉय करता है। ठीक है। एडवर्स इफेक्ट्स में दे डिरेंज द लिपिड प्रोफाइल, ठीक है। HDL जो फ्रेंडली अच्छा कोलेस्ट्रॉल होता है उसको ये डिक्रीज कर देता है। फैटीग करता है, रिड्यूस एक्सरसाइज कैपेसिटी। Also, and dose beta blockers which enter the CNS can lead to sleep disturbances, bad dreams and sexual dysfunction, hypoglycemia, rebound hypertension. So whenever you have to stop beta blockers, you stop it gradually. Because क्या होता है कि नॉर्मली आपने जर्नल फार्मा में पढ़ा होगा कि जब आप बीटा कोई भी ब्लॉकर दोगे कॉन्टिन्यूसली तो आप रेगुलेशन ऑफ रिसेप्टर्स हो जाती है। ठीक है। और जब कोई भी एगनिस्ट बहुत लंबे अरसे के लिए देते हैं तो डाउन रेगुलेशन हो जाती है। तो जब क्या होता है कि आपके रिसेप्टर्स ब्लॉक हुए होते हैं, आप बीटा रिसेप्टर्स दे रहे होते, ब्लॉकर दे रहे होते बहुत अरसे के लिए, तो देर इज़ अप रेगुलेशन ऑफ बीटा रिसेप्टर्स। और आप एकदम से छोड़ोगे ब्लॉकर को तो जो एगनिस्ट अंदर हैं आपके एंडोजिनस वो बीटा रिसेप्टर्स पे ऐसे अटैक करेंगे और जाके बाइंड करेंगे। दे वर क्रेविंग फॉर दीज रिसेप्टर्स जिनको ब्लॉक किया हुआ था बीटा ब्लॉकर्स ने। तो फिर एंडोजिनस जितने भी आपके हैं पेप्टाइड्स हैं जो न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स हैं लाइक नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन, एपिनेफ्रिन, दे आर गोइंग टू बाइंड टू दीज रिसेप्टर्स और फिर एक्सेसिव रीबाउंड हाइपरटेंशन होती है, यानी ब्लड प्रेशर बहुत तेज़ हो जाता है। तो वी ऑलवेज टेपर द बीटा ब्लॉकर्स। ठीक है। And if there is an overdose of beta blockers, that is treated by glucagon. That is a specific antidote for that, and this can be asked in your MCQ. ठीक है। Butoxamine, it's a beta 2 blocker, only one drug in beta 2 blocker, and it is not used therapeutically, यानी किसी disease में नहीं देते. They are only used for experimental purposes in animals. So this is important slide कि one selective beta blocker for any specific condition. हार्ट फेलियर में प्रेफर्ड इज कार्वेडोलॉल, हाइपरटेंशन में एटिनोलॉल, वैसे हम वो देंगे जो बीटा 1 ब्लॉकर्स होंगे। ठीक है। एमरजेंसीज में एस्मोलॉल बिकॉज इट हैज़ गॉट अ वेरी फास्ट ऑनसेट ऑफ एक्शन, तो हमें इमरजेंसी में ऐसी ड्रग चाहिए ना जो रैपिड ऑनसेट हो। देन इन माइग्रेन वी गिव प्रोप्रानोलॉल विच इज़ नॉन सेलेक्टिव, ग्लूकोमा में वी गिव टेमोलॉल। Once again, to memorize it, beta blockers, their end of the names contain lol. With that, we end today's lecture, and I would be waiting for your assignment on the WhatsApp group. And thank you very much for being with me. See you next time. Allah Hafiz and best of luck, bachcho.